So hello everyone. Have you ever used self in Python just because everyone tells you to use it but never really understood what actually does? Don't worry, let's break it down in a real simple way. So, if you are learning Python, you have probably written code like this student.display. But have you ever wondered how does Python know which student's data display should use? And why do we write this mysterious keyword self? What exactly is self and what happens behind the scenes when you call student.display? In this video, I will explain Python instance methods and self from scratch. With simple examples, you can actually run. By the end, you will understand how Python connects objects, data, and methods. And self will finally make some sense. Hello everyone, I am Punyakirti BL. Welcome to my Python for Generative AI learning series. In this series, we are focusing on Python basics that will help us to build a strong foundation for implementing generative AI concepts. So let's dive in and start today's session. First question is, what is an instance method? Let's start with a simple class. I will take this class. So let's understand this code. So here we defined a class called student and a function called display with self keyword print student information. Let's understand. Here display is a method because it is function defined inside a class. Now let's create an object. Student is equal to student. So student is a object here. So after this I created the object. Object is ready. Now and call the method. How to call? I have to use the student object and call the function. Let's type it. So student dot display. I call the function. The output is, let's run and see the output. See, student information is printed. Let's understand the output is student information. So an instance method is a method that works with particular object or instance of a class. The important thing to notice here is definition display self. Okay, we have a self as the first parameter. So the next question is, what is self? Let's understanding self is the next topic. The easiest way to understand self is self represents the current objects. Okay, let's create two student objects. As of now, we have this function. Let's create student 1 and student 2. So I remove this student object and now I will create student 1 and student 2. Two objects created. Now I will call student1 display and student2 dot display. Let's call the function using student1 then student2 display. Both objects are using the same method, but when we call student.one display, self refers to student1 object, and when we call student2 display, self refers to student2. So you can think of Python as doing something similar to student.display student1 for the first call and student.display student2 for the second call. We normally don't pass self manually. Python handles that automatically when we call the method through an object. Okay, let's run the program and see here. Okay, so what we are doing, so let's print self two times. Student information, I don't want self dot self. So two times I have printed, right? Let's run. You are able to see here student object at 6040310. By this you can understand first time it calls student one object, student two objects. Both objects are from student class with different memory objects. So current executable object will be stored in self. That is what we proved. Next topic is instance methods working with data. Now let's make this more useful. Suppose every student has a name and marks. So for that class student definition, take this function. So what function we have? We have a constructor called init. Inside that we have self and name and marks are parameter. So self dot name is equal to name, self dot marks is equal to marks. Our code is ready. Here we are storing data inside the object. For example, while creating the object, what we are doing, we are passing the name and value, name and marks for each object. Student 1, it is Rahul, and marks are 85. Student 2, Priya, and 92. So now we can create an instance method. So for this we need to add a method called display. So for this method we added display method. So display method have self object, it will display the things. Next, student 1 dot display, student dot 2 display. Okay, now we created the object, then display and student dot display. So let's create the run. So name is Rahul, marks is 85, name is Priya, marks is 92. The output will be name, Rahul, and all. Notice something important. We have only one display method, but it works with different student data. Why? Because self refers to the object calling the method. For example, student one dot display, it will call self dot name, means student one dot name. That means current object is student one, self is refers to current object. That's why it is doing student one dot name. And for student 2 dot display, self dot name is means student 2 dot name. This is the real power of instance methods. Okay, we learned this topic. Next topic is instance methods can modify data. Instance methods don't just read data, they can also change objects data. So let's add a method to increase marks. So we have in itself, it is there, so I will take whole code. So two methods, one is constructor, and another one is add bonus. We are adding the marks. Here you are able to see, here we are taking as a parameter marks, and marks is marks. So we added, so in the bonus we are adding the marks. Now create student, we are creating the object called student again. We did. Next, initially print student dot marks. Let's print student dot marks, and let's see the output. Student dot marks. So what is the output expected initially? That is 35. We have got the 35 initially. So output is 35. Now call student dot add bonus 10. So next what we need to call? Student dot add bonus. We are calling the function called add bonus, which is instance, and we did. Then let's see the output. Okay, and check again, print student dot marks. Let's run student dot not bonus. Okay, we need to print. I will take this code and run. Once we run, before is 35, after bonus it becomes 45. You are able to see before the marks is, when we created we passed 35, student marks initially is 35. When we call add bonus, we passed a value 10, 10 plus 35 becomes 45. We got the output 45. The result is 45. What happened? Inside the method, self marks plus marks. Okay, self dot marks refers to the marks belonging to the particular student. So the object state has changed from 35 to 45. Okay, so we learned how instance methods modify data, right? Let's see, instance methods can return values. Next topic, instance methods can also return information. For example, let's check whether a student is passed or not. So we have this class with marks and all initially, then we can have a pass, it is passed or not. Okay, let's pass the data. We have to create the object, and let's see how what happens. So I created the object student, passed 75, 75, and then we are calling is passed. So self dot marks greater than 40. As of now, self dot marks is 75, 75 greater than is equal to 40 is passed. So it will return self mark greater than 0, that should return true. So we got true as a return. That means we can also use it in an if statement. If student is passed, then he is passed. If student is not passed, he is failed. How to use that one? See here. Student is passed, we have printed true false. I will comment this line. Now in our condition 75 we have passed, student is passed. So for we got student is passed. I will make it as 35 and create the object. Then is passed or failed not, when you run, student failed. So instance methods for returning the values, we can use it in if conditions as well. Next, so an instance method can read object data, modify object data, perform calculations, return values. Next topic is, let's take one real world example called bank account. Okay, so imagine we are building an banking application. An account has account holder, balance, and it can perform operations like deposit money, withdraw money, show balance. We can represent this using a class. Okay, so this class contains initial init method constructor, then deposit, withdraw, and show balance along with their respective code. Let's take this. We'll take this code. So what is bank account contains four methods. Okay, now let's create an account. Okay, so account is equal to bank account. I'm passing the value. See, name is Rahul and initial balance is 10,000. So check the balance. So check the balance. If I check the balance, what happens? Account, sorry, show balance. So initial balance will be, holder is Rahul, balance is 10,000. Next is deposit money. Let's deposit 5,000. So show balance and deposit. So we have deposited. So once it is deposited, let's see the balance after deposit. What happens after deposit? Let's run and see. So holder is Rahul. After deposit, holder is Rahul. 15,000 is the balance. Now next is withdraw money. Account dot withdraw. So print after withdrawal, account withdrawal, show balance. Okay. So before it is 10,000, then become 15,000, after withdrawal 12,000, we withdraw 3,000 amount. So now balance is 12,000. Okay, next let's see next topic. Balance we did, the final balance will be 13,000. We did already. Again, if you want to withdraw, we can withdraw and we can do that one. Here we have a very good example of instance method. The object contains the data, self dot holder and self dot balance, and the methods define what the object can do. It can do deposit, withdraw and show balance. This is one of the fundamental ideas behind object oriented programming. We combine data and behavior inside an object. Okay, let's understand one common mistake. There is one mistake beginners frequently make. They forget self. For example, this is incorrect. For example, in it, so self comma name, and we are trying to initialize name is equal to name. This is the code. Instead, we need to use init self comma name is equal to self dot name is equal to name. So you are using storing the object variable value as initialization. So you're initializing the name to object attribute name. If you do like this, this variable is initializing to same variable. Why? Because name is equal to name does not store the value as part of object, but self.name is equal to name creates an instance variable called name and store it inside the current object. So whenever you want to access object specific data inside an instance method, you will commonly use self.variable name. Okay, let's final recap. So let's quickly recap. An instance method is a method that works with particular object. We usually define it like this definition: method name self. Self represents the current object. It allows us to access instance variables like self.name, self.marks, and modify them like self.marks is equal to 10. Instance methods can also return values, return self marks greater than equal to 40. This is one of the example. The easiest way to remember this is object, data plus methods, self connects to the method to the store the current object's data. Let's close this. If this video helped you to understand instance methods and self keyword, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more beginner friendly Python and generative AI tutorials. And if you want to learn Python specifically for generative AI, check out the other videos in this series. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who is learning Python. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.